Peace. Welcome back to another episode of the Strikingemspodcast. As y'all know, it's your boy Dashawn. I'm here. I'm blessed. Feeling a little under the weather, but I'll be alright. You know what I mean? I still had to come here and get this podcast out of the way. I'm back with my brother Ous. Well, he's back. I think he's been on a little hiatus. Don't know where he been at. But where you been at, bro? Talk to him.
And I've been working, man. Started the year with something new. I don't want to like jinx it because I want it to flourish to become something. But yeah, just been working, man. That's it. Time schedule's a little different, but yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And we here with someone he's been here before. You know what I mean? So I guess now you can call him like a reoccurring guest.
Yes, sir,
so I'm here, my man Kamayera.
Yeah,
Kamayera, you got anything to say,
yeah,
bro?
honorary third man.
Right.
Yes, sir. It's King Kamayera here. Once again on the Strikingemspodcast. Before we get started on this episode, though, I just want to really give y'all, y'all flowers, the flowers y'all deserve. For y'all to create a platform for young black people to come on here, from educators to designers to poets like myself. It's really a beautiful thing to see, and I look forward to every episode y'all have. So I really hope this platform right here continues to flourish, and I give y'all nothing but my blessings, for real. Thank y'all so much for what y'all done for us, as black people, for the community. So thank
Definitely,
you,
bro. Thank you. Welcome. We definitely trying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got on this Rock Nation hat because I'm hoping like sponsors is out there, hoping them is watching. And, you know what I mean? It's all about the power in the tongue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's a fact.
manifesting.
Yep,
And since he been here, he been doing some new things.
Right.
Had a few more performances.
Yes.
I've
Been So I had my first show back in July, and that's actually when they first had me here, like after that first show. But I also had a show February 11th. Shout out to Rush and sorry, Poetry Me Please. I had another show there.
Great show.
Great. Yeah, that was fab. I think that was my best performance hands down now. But ever since then, I've been just getting invited to more and more performances. I actually had a performance this past week at the Shrine in Harlem, by 135th by TMA, IHOP. Performed with a band for the first time in my life.
Nice.
That was dope. Performed the three pieces that are my favorite personally. And I have a performance, this week at the New York Poets Cafe. I'm performing at a poetry slam, and when I do win, I'll be performing at the Friday night slams. With that, that should be turned up. So, hopefully, whoever's tuning into this podcast, y'all see me there. So, yeah.
Where they can find you at though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My Instagram, King Kamayera. That's KING.KAMAYERA. Once again, King Kamayera, KING.KAMAYERA. I'll definitely have more pieces up there, recordings of live pieces and just me, recording. And I also plan to have a spoken word album out. I'm planning to, create something different that that's never been heard before. I don't know, it might have been done, but I'll plan to do it better. It's a piece, it's a bunch of spoken word pieces, but also I want to have singing in there, like also skits involved, you know what I'm saying? So, it's called The Tribe. I'm still laying out the blueprint of it, but I plan to have that released sometime, next winter or, next year, by Juneteenth. So, yeah.
Good.
Right. Definitely going to look out for that, and everybody tap in.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, appreciate it, y'all, for real.
So yeah, y'all. So look, I don't know if everybody's been watching and tuned into Netflix recently, but a lot of times we hear Kanye, we hear about the backlash, everything that's going on in his personal life. But if you tapped in and understand the genius behind Kanye, I hope everyone is tuned into that documentary. What is it called? I don't know what it's called. That's the crazy part.
Genius.
Genius.
The way he spelled it is funny.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
GEEN and then like a dash and then YUHS.
Yeah.
Right. So I hope everybody is tuned in. I only saw the first 2 episodes. What about y'all?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it stacked. That is the first time I've watched a documentary more than 2 hours, more than twice. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched the first episode like 2 times, the second episode like another time,
Right.
the third episode like 2 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, I guess, a testament to how much of an impact he's played in my art as a poet and
Right.
just my life. As a black man. So yeah.
I mean, with me, it's like after I watch it, I gotta sit down with it and digest it.
Yeah.
Because I'll watch something and then like 2 days later, a new way of like describing or like like I think about the documentary more, like even like what they were trying to get at.
Yeah.
Like all those stuff pop into my head like days after, and then maybe I'll go back and watch it or something like that.
Yeah. No, I think that's the same reason why I watched it more than 2 times, 3 times, because it was highlighting like the college dropout era, and that's personally for me, that's what made me a fan of his. Like the new shit he come out with now, I mean, I'll bump it. I ain't gonna hold you when I'm in the gym and shit, but it's not something I'm a big fan of. Like that college dropout, late registration era is like, I guess I'm gonna say the cliche, I miss the old Kanye, but that's the shit that really made me a fan of his. You know what I'm saying? And for that to be documented and finally to be highlighted, I feel to the public, like it meant a lot to me. I was like, oh, thank you. They could finally see, why I became a fan of his, and at that point in hip hop, just the industry in itself. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I know your favorite rapper, Dashawn, 50 Cent. He was popping at that time, 2003 when he came out with
popping.
Get Rich or Die Trying. Everybody had the folders and shit in the back. You know what I'm saying?
I had the
shirts, all that, bro.
Bro, no funny shit. Like, crazy. I think the first time I ever, my mom, she had like an African hair braiding shop on 125th Street. I remember the first time I heard these women speak English was when they heard In the Club. It's like, oh, In the Club. I was like, wait, how y'all know how to say this?
Yo, the first album I ever had, it was a bootleg. I got it on 125th with Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying, yeah, bro.
It was this. Remember the bootleg came in the skinny.
Yeah.
Nah, I had everything official when it came to 50. I ain't going for sneakers, clothes, folders.
I had everything, bro. They should have everything 50 Cent, bro.
You even had the video game and all.
Video games, yo. Bulletproof. That was tough. I did have that, yo. But yeah, that's the thing though. But when I watched the doc. For me, like I never cared about Kanye music that much like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But as I got older, as he started like progressing in the whole music industry and everything, I started respecting his business mind frame. Like when he was talking about, you ain't got the answers, Sway, and he the next Walt Disney, and they don't want to help him. He's in debt, 100 bit, whatever he was saying. I thought he was bugging out, honestly. But it's like as time progressed, you start seeing everything he was saying coming to fruition. Like everything he said he was gonna do, he actually did it. And that's why when I was watching that, I'm like, yo, like the power of the tongue is something different.
Yo, you speaking to the universe, it comes true, bro.
In the book I was reading, he said everybody's a magician. He said what he's saying by that is because every time you speak a song, you have the ability to make it happen. So like every time we speak, anything we say, we basically casting a spell. So I was like, damn, that's deep. So it's like everybody be like, if you saw something negative, or like you say, yo, I'm gonna die by 27, God forbid. It's a possibility you go down by 27 because you already put that out there in the universe. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like for me, Kanye is just like he's the epitome of like manifestation. He knows exactly what he wants, how he's gonna execute, and he's gonna get it. And then he's gonna rub it in your face too and let you know like I did it. So I respect anybody like that. Y'all know me. I like talking my junk, but I like backing it up too and letting everybody know. Like,
I'm a person. I like telling you I told you so.
Yeah.
But, another thing that when you talked about when you fell in love with Kanye, I think is the. Like, I've been thinking about this. It's the same thing with J. Cole. It's the same thing with, like, Kid Cudi and all those people.
Gambino,
and all those people. Mm-hmm. I don't really relate to them, but I think about it with J. Cole a little bit. It's like,
it's the same thing.
That whole thing of the backpack rapper and everything is, like, the dynamic of, like, being from the hood, but not actually being involved in the hood shit. And actually going to school. I think that's what made it relatable, because there's people out there that really grew up in the hood. Like I remember you said in your poem, you said something about
I'm in the hood, but I said some shit like I was in the hood, but I'm from the hood, but I ain't a hood nigga, but I could still go to around the block and give a
to the drug
dealers something like that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I feel like it's that same thing when he came out. It's like it's in different aspect, right? The way he grew up, right? He grew up in the hood, but then once his mom got the professional job, they moved to somewhere where it's like not really in the hood. It's still the hood, but not really in the hood.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you think about it with the when he was in Rockefeller, everybody's on that street shit, and he's the only one
that jerseys, baggy
jerseys. Hold on, I gotta call that out because I can't believe that was really a style back then, brother. Because you look at the shit now, you're like, yo, these niggas used to wear baggy clothes like that. Like,
it was fine back then, but you think about that era, the dynamic, right? It's like Kanye could understand what they talking about, but he never lived that life.
So he don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, so he don't want to talk about it. And I feel like it's the same thing with us too. It's like, we grew up in the hood. We might have been involved in some hood activities or whatever, but we was able to wisen up, go to college, get our degrees, and try to leave that world because we was wise enough to do that. And I feel like, because one thing about music always bring you to a place. It's like nostalgia.
Nostalgia,
and it's also like a timepiece to your life. So it's like when I listen to like J. Cole first album, right, and he talks about being online at the financial aid office and stuff like that, it's like you can really you can really relate to that stuff. So like it speaks to you different.
Exactly.
But if nigga talk about I lost 100 bricks.
Yeah,
I lost 92 bricks.
I just imagination make your imagination go wild.
Like it sounds fire.
And the funny shit, as a black man too, as a young black man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your mind is not fully developed and all these things, and these are your outside of your parents, you know what I'm saying? These are your other outside influences, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you feel like you gotta be that too. I gotta be the nigga that flipping bricks. I gotta be the nigga like 50 Cent. I gotta get shot 9 times so I could be called, you know, gangster or a real nigga or a real man, you know what I'm saying? I guess that's
I can't let niggas talk to me.
Yeah, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I gotta fight every time I see a nigga look at me funny and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that was the norm for a lot of, you know, black kids. I know for myself, like, and I know for me, I wasn't a hood nigga at all. I mean, I was in the hood. I mean, I'm not saying we grew up in Chirac or anything like that, but we grew up in a hard place. We grew up in
the South Bronx.
Yeah, in the South, it's still a hard place. Like, no funny shit, I could really say, like, people got killed on my block, you know what I'm saying? Some people come to my neighborhood, they're like, oh shit, why they have this shit right here? Like, the flowers and, you know what I'm saying, and the balloons and stuff like, yeah, somebody got killed right there.
They got shot in your building, bro.
Yeah, bro. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lived that, you know what I'm saying? I've been, you know, I've seen that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit here and, like, be a phony and say, hey, you're like, yeah, I've been in the hood, you know what I'm saying?
But that's where the relatability comes
Yeah, exactly.
With,
So,
with Kanye,
exactly.
Really,
that's why I heard,
Kanye was really the start of that because he named his album College Dropout.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
So it's like, when he talks about, when you hear the skits of, like, him when D-Ray Davis doing the skits and stuff like that, and like you go, that stuff really like
relates
talk to you. So I feel like it's so many people, even though it's not like glorified, there's so many people that actually live that type of life.
Exactly,
the way that Kanye talk, rather than the street shit. Like the street shit is just fire. Like it brings energy.
It brings fire energy.
I listen to that shit, bro. I'm doing 100 miles on the FDR drive.
Bro.
Like, it's like,
bro, I'm listening to that shit. I'm mugging every nigga shit.
Yeah. Nah, but to other people too, Kanye boring, bro. It's just like J. Cole, that's boring, conscious rap. Nobody want to hear that. Like you said,
but that's the thing, right? Because it's like, that's why I say specifically college, right? Because if you go to college, like me being in college, like the soundtrack to like when I was in community college was J. Cole first album for me, right? Because like a lot of the stuff he was talking about then was like I could relate to it, like it spoke to me then. You feel me?
Yeah.
But as you transition to another
different aspect of your life,
different aspect of life. Like for you, right? 444 might mean something different to you now than it did back then.
Exactly, and you probably can't relate to Get Rich or Die Trying now, like now than you did before when you was younger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
no, that's a fact.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But that's why for me too, though, like just watching the whole Kanye thing, like I said again, like his music wasn't the it factor for me. I ain't gonna lie, he got songs like Big Brother and that song about his mother.
Hey Mama.
Touching.
Hey Mama.
That's one of my favorite songs like ever. Hey Mama, that's fire. But it's like, it's just the fact that he really went into everything he said he wanted to do. Yo, the man, it's ill. Like,
wait. So, what did y'all take away from the doc? Go ahead.
That you can do anything you want to do, and I'm a firm believer in that. Like, there's no reason why we got 24 hours in the day and nobody can accomplish things they want to accomplish.
Exactly.
Like, he said he wanted to be down with The Rock. He was curving offers and everything. He was down with Jay. They was curving him, shelving him. He sat there, spoke to Dame. Dame came in. He was like, hold on, Dame, I was getting this off. Yo, I spent my own money. I spent $30,000 for doing this. I did this by myself, independent, without no help from the label. Dame came in, Carl was like, oh.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on, let me finish.
He was like, I hope, what did you say? He said, I hope they could finally open my budget up or something.
Yeah, like he kept going. He kept going. Like he stood on his square, and I'm like, yo, I really respect him. Like he ain't gonna hold his tongue. He gonna say what he gotta say. He gonna do what he gotta do at the end of the day. Like he's in charge of his own destiny. You know what I'm saying?
It's two scenes that really like spoke to that. The one that you just mentioned when he was in a Rockefeller office and they playing his shit and then they just like like they bumping. Then somebody come in the room, they have a whole conversation. He looked mad sad, taking out the CD and just walking to another room. It's that scene, and after his accident, they wasn't opening up his budget, so he's borrowing studio time for niggas from like Ludacris.
Yeah, Pharrell.
Like
but the fact that he went,
Fox too,
that was fire.
But he's doing everything in his power. Like that's why, like just like when you said the power of the tongue, like he's really taking like there was no excuses at all for him. He's like, they won't open my budget to give me studio time. I'm a borrow studio time for these people, and then he was able to get a few songs done, and then he even went to MTV to get
sneaking into the office,
to get the video
done, paying out his pocket to make that through the wire video. And for me, my takeaway is like, you know what I'm saying, how do I want to word this? Like, you know what I'm saying, I do want to say, you know, believe in yourself, no matter what kind of vision. If it sounds crazy to other people, or it sounds like it can't be achieved by other people, always believe in yourself. But also another thing too, as a parent, you know what I'm saying, you have a role in how much your kid believes in himself. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw how Donda, I didn't know how, you know, I guess I saw like, you know, snippets of like how Donda played a role in his life, but this documentary really like put it on the forefront. Like, yo, like, you saw how much she believes in that. One time that Doug Infinity dude dissed him, and then he felt like kind of down, and then he went back.
That's kind of gangster. He pulled up on him.
Yeah, that was gangster. So he kind of like a hood nigga. He kind of.
What time was that?
It was the first episode.
It was the first episode. They was at some convention, and he was like, "Yo, this is Kanye. He was in our crib when he was like 14 years old."
Yeah, he was trying to learn.
And later on that night, Kanye's in the whip. This is
but yo, this nigga was in his video like yo, Kanye, he gonna be
like
he was gassing him up, bro.
Like the video, yeah.
I missed that part,
bro. And then Kanye's in the whip.
He's like, oh, these
and
niggas
listen to the
niggas
dissing him, and he's like, I went to the radio station. Niggas went to the radio station, see the nigga, and the nigga plead the fifth. He's like, yo, come over here. Got away from the camera. And they started chopping it up and shit.
Yeah, but he's like, yo, you gotta do it. Yeah, you try to like cop the plea, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
but he was tight about that.
But yeah, for me though, like for him to go back to his mother and like his mother to uplift his spirits like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying only mothers can do that. I mean, women, you know, they are very important in our life, and they are the ones that always uplift us. But you know, as fathers too, you know, we gotta the words that we speak into our children, you know what I'm saying? That will, you know, carry them a long way as well. You know what I'm saying? Right, yeah, that you know, that's really, really important. You know, I just really want to highlight that as well. And it makes me like looking at that documentary. I know when I have kids, you know, I'll make sure to speak to. I mean, if they saying some trash shit, I'm like, yo, you gotta chill.
You gotta be honest.
Yeah, you gotta be honest. But you gotta really, if you know they're talented, you know they have a gift. You know, you have to, you know, speak something like you're gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have the Kanye we have today. You know what I'm saying? So that was my main takeaway. And like I said, always believe in yourself. No matter how crazy your dreams sound, no matter how many people doubt you. You know what I'm saying? Always believe in yourself. No matter, you know what I'm saying, how crazy it sounds to other people.
Nah, you right, hands down. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. Like, yo, the fact that his mom was there, like, she's very instrumental.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like if his mom wasn't there, like, during the early stages of his career, I don't know if he would have been the Kanye that we see today.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, yo, your parent, bro, y'all gonna turn this into something else.
Right?
Nah, for real, yo.
I would get my takeaway.
Yeah. Like, man,
it's like, yo, you don't know the effect that you have on your children as parents. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, man. Like, yo, we the person that birthed you. We help give you life and all that. But yo, like the power in the words that you say to your kids, like, you gotta give your kids positive affirmations every day. Kanye was 25, 30 years old. His mother was still, go Kanye, go Kanye.
Singing his songs, rapping his lyrics.
Yo, she knew Hey Mama word for word.
Bro, he dropped out of the school. Like her mama, his mother's a
college professor.
And he dropping out of school, and she's still supporting him. Like,
the fact.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Usman, we know this, like, in the African household. That would, you know what I'm saying? That's not gonna rock.
He went to school that she worked at?
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
But yeah, I remember I took time off and my pops was on me,
yeah,
bro. And it's like,
I'm
gonna go back. Just wait till the semester ends. Like,
son.
But yet, I feel like I love the way the doc really showed like the mother-son relationship. Like they I'm trying to like get the right words for it, but it's like I seen this tweet. It was like, yo, it's like the way they showed his mom was such an like it was almost like a light, angel. There you go.
And then hearing her voice was like angelic, like the whole thing was kind of.
And one thing I love too is like when she show up, right? She's like genuinely happy. Like she in the studio.
Unconditional love.
Like when he did the poetry,
the all falls down. The Def Jam poetry.
And then she's there cheesing.
Like Kanye, that was fly. Kanye,
she's like, he talks some political stuff. Like they gonna be, and then like when he brought her to the studio with Diddy and all that, and he's doing his interview, and like she's just there like,
but she embraced him for the little things. But she saw a new chain. She was like, we got another
nice
one. She was like, oh, that's nice. Like, like she just kept like it's every little thing that Kanye did. She uplifted him. So that's the thing too, right? As parents, we feel like, yo, after 18 years is over, I'm done. Like,
that's a lifetime. No, that's a lifetime.
Like, yo, that's your baby until the day that y'all die.
One thing she said though, I think it's probably in episode 3. You missed it, but when she said something is like, my job as a parent is done. Now I'm his friend.
That's it. That's deep.
Yeah,
I probably missed that part, but
yeah. I think it was after the fundraiser.
The fundraiser. When he was on stage and he's like, buses came.
Yeah, they was outside. They was outside, and she's like, yeah, my job as a parent is. I think they was interviewing her one of the scenes, but it was in the third one. She was like, yeah, my job as a parent is done. I'm just his friend now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I did everything I could to raise him to be the man that he is.
Yeah.
So now I'm just here to support him and be his friend.
And
it also brings perspective why, like after his mom died, he went through.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
like,
you see why he went through the shit he went through, and even Cootie, I think he mentioned it too. He said when I went to see Kanye after his mom's death, he wasn't the same Kanye.
He wasn't the same, yeah.
You know
bro, he lost his biggest supporter.
Think about getting that big, right? Getting that. I feel like when you get that big, you're surrounded by nothing but snakes and leeches. Like people that just want to be around you because they know you popping. You know what I'm saying? The only person that supported you, unconditionally, aside from Cootie and Chike, because I'm not trying to take away any flaws from them, but like. Your mother is, that's the person you can always lean on. Since the beginning. Yeah, so it's like, who can you lean on now? Like, this is, I always say there's two different worlds for all human beings. There's like a world with your parents in it, and there's a world without your parents in it. You know what I'm saying? So to make that transition without your parents in it, or in Kanye's case, without his mother in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we over here saying he going crazy and stuff, but you got to think about the impact it had on him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're undermining that to
add that to that point is like the way she died. That's the thing. Like,
and he always blames himself for that. Go ahead.
If she was to get sick, and like he knew it was coming,
it would still be hard, but
it would still be hard, but like it'll be like it'll get better over time. But it's just like she died suddenly. And then it's like
a plastic surgery, bro.
She didn't even need that.
It was a heart attack during plastic surgery, right? Something like that. But like she died suddenly. It was like nothing nobody expected.
That's Michael Jackson doctor, right?
It was plastic surgery and it was a combination of medications and shit like that.
I think he gave her the wrong medication. Like it was sounding like I think that was Michael Jackson. I could be mistaken.
Well, I think the conspiracy theory with Michael Jackson, like doctor left it there and they let Michael use it
on his own. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to throw that on that man if he didn't do it. But I think that's.
He lost his doctor license and all that.
My thing is though, he blames himself because he's like, if I never got this famous, I would have still had my mama. She wouldn't have felt the need to get this plastic surgery and stuff like that. And I think that's what hurts the most. You know what I'm saying? He's probably going through that battle like, oh, the reason my mama died is because of me too. You know what I'm saying? So that
Nah, but he's right in that assessment. Only I'll say that because it's true. Like, but then it's like. Bro, your mother was your biggest fan, so like you had no choice but to get there.
Yeah,
so it's like, but I feel like too, right? Like, you know how your parent, obviously your parent is always there. You know what I'm saying? You know how to live without your parent. I feel like as parents, like we do got to teach our kids like how to live without us, because there is a life without them. Obviously, like God forbid, like you could die tomorrow. And then if you don't teach your kids,
his favorite line.
Nah, it's true. And I got that from B. B used to be like, yo, bro, let's go out tonight. I'm like, nah, I'm tired. He's like. He called me. Yo, I had to see your face real quick because I could die tomorrow. You're not even going to see my face. We're not going to take this last picture together. I'm not going to lie. That's guilt trip too. I'm down with it. But it's a lot. But it's true.
It's true.
But like, we really got to teach kids how to like survive without us. Like, I remember my mom, she used to show us, or she'd tell us like, yo, God forbid anything happened to me, my insurance is in A, B, and C. You know where your social security cards is at. You know where everything is at just in case I die. Like, she used to really tell me and my sister that. Like, so it's that's something that you got to do. You know what I mean?
And another thing too is like, I'm not a parent, but just from like my parents, is like you also got to build like a foundation, right? Because if you build a foundation where like you have your kids grow up with like discipline and like all the good traits, right? Even I always think about stuff like that.
You always think about your last interaction,
But now to my takeaway. But,
go ahead.
We forgot about you, son. I thought you went already. I ain't going front.
Now, we talked about. My takeaway is
go ahead, bro.
Like, I guess it's off of what you said because I feel like that Kanye doc awakened like if it wasn't already there, the dreamer in you. So that dream that you had as a kid when you used to envision like the world is endless. I feel like it awakened that in you, and it's like I feel like it inspired. So like it don't matter what field you in, right? After watching that documentary, it's like I'm gonna go harder in whatever field I'm in.
It's like, his inspiration was universal. You know what I'm saying? Any aspect, not just like, music. It could go to like any aspect.
Yep. I feel like that, like even like what I'm doing, right? Like I'm hoping to get to the next step of like my career path, right? So now it inspired me to like even work harder.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So or like to like get certain things done, get certain things prepared.
Yeah.
Because as you grow up, right? As you grow up and you start to realize how fucked up the world is and how like really terrible shit is, you lose that dreamer spirit that you had as a kid, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
like we used to have these wild imaginations.
Yeah, I always
like,
wanted to be an astronaut. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
like,
I feel like, I don't
you work with kids, right? The kids be talking about the craziest thing that you be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's just the imagination running wild. Like, that's the only thing that like they really have, right?
Yeah.
And as you get older, like all that shit goes away because you start to deal with real world, and it's like, it's sad for us that grew up in the hood, like. That dreamer spirit gets taken away at a very young age. Yeah,
and then other people, and it sucks the motivation out of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly. By the time for some people, by the time they get to like 15, 16, 17, like they've been in jail. It's like they've been in so much situations that fucked up their life, and it's like now they really fucked up for the rest of their life.
Yeah, so you kind of got a line, just to go back to the college dropout. We wasn't supposed to make it past 25, but you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like 25, like past 25, like I'm dead past 25. It's even other ways, like let's say, you know what I'm saying, you in jail. Past 25, you're not living life anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Even like
there's some things you get caught up in the hood and you just stuck there. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. We was just talking about this on the drive.
In the car.
And Jay-Z's book Decoded, right? And he talks about like. He said he had a conversation with Bono, and that I think Bono asked him like why, like people. I think he was telling Bono why like people from the hood enjoy like wear the blings and have the cars, because it's like that living your life stagnant is worse than dying. You feel me? So we live for that fast money stuff and everything that comes with it, because you never know. What's gonna happen tomorrow, next month, or next year? God forbid. You feel me? And the whole thing of like we never make it past 25, and that's just a true spirit, because that dreamer spirit get taken away from you at a very young age.
But that's the thing too. It's unfortunate, right? Like I'm gonna keep going back to Kanye with his mom, because she believed in him so much, right? So it's like it's a shame as kids, like you said, as they get older, they can't dream no more. They lose their imagination. But who says that's the law? Look at Kanye. His imagination never stopped. I be feeling like a kid sometimes too, because I still got imagination. My imagination goes wild. I think of the craziest things. Then I think about, I could do this because. Then I got that whole plan in my head why I could do it. And it's so crazy too, because like in the book I'm reading now too, I ain't gonna lie. It's a good book, yo. The four agreements.
The four agreements.
I'm gonna see that after you're done.
Yo, I don't know if I trust you with that, but
I'm making sure the ball's noble.
I trade you one. I trade you the Alchemist for that one.
Nah, I'm gonna buy that too. I saw them.
That's a good book.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Hold on, y'all.
But I got mad, but I could trade you 48 laws. I could trade you what else?
Got that.
I got Laws of Human Nature. I got
that's the new
Battle
one,
Cry.
that's the new one, right?
Yeah, Laws. Yeah, I think that's the new
That's
one.
the newest one.
Yeah.
I up you on that. We betting on the book.
Minus 1,500. Niggas over here FanDueling.
Nah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm trying to look for this quote.
Yeah. One thing I just gotta point out too. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Kanye and Mom, how much he stuff. You talk about imaginations and stuff like that. You know what I feel like it's unfair for Black people, especially. We always gotta put a disclaimer before. We gotta put a disclaimer when we announce our dreams. We're like, I know this sounds too crazy, but I want to do this. Nah, right. just say what you want to do. Like people always tell me like, yo, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm like, no, say what you want to say, because I'm not gonna like discredit it. I know we've been trained, I guess, as Black people too. Like, I don't want to make this a race thing at all, but maybe just people in the hood, just in general. We just been this, Puerto Ricans, Blacks or whatever. We've been just like trained to like always like, I guess set the bar low. Yeah, suppress.
Like we putting a roof on somebody's
ceiling.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, and we think we can't do this shit because where we from, how we look, or like we don't think our intellectual capabilities are up there of white people.
And thing is too is like, I think it's an internal thing too, but it's also like we worry about what other people think too, right?
But that's okay though, as a thing too.
But this the thing, like it's like I be thinking about it, like when I'm in work and I'm writing email, right? I be trying to write in a certain way because I don't want them to think I'm just like
that's a fact.
too hood or whatever. Like, I want it to sound a certain way. Like, let me rephrase the word, not even like the spelling or like the way you text, but just reframe it reframing the sentence and shit like that.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's everybody because it's all about tone too. Like when it comes to like tonality, like you don't want to sound too aggressive. You don't want to sound like you coming at somebody.
But then you're already thinking that you're sounding too aggressive, but you know, even when I text white people, bro, like you know, if I'm texting y'all, it's different how I text white people. I just like, oh, I gotta be mad. So a lot of people think I text mad formally and shit like that. I'm like, yo, it's only because like I don't want to come off a certain way, or even the way I talk to people, you know, on the phone. But yeah. So even on my point though, before like when I was talking about like you know like the disclaimer we put before we put our imaginations out, I remember this one part where Kanye said, "Yo, people say I just want to. I guess I'm gonna put a disclaimer here. Like the shit he does now, you know, I'm not a fan of. You know what I'm saying? Like he really gonna do some bullshit, arrogant shit. You know, I'm not really
arrogant. It's bozo shit.
But the shit, like the shit he doing
shit with
Davidson and you know he's saying I'm the greatest. I'm more. I mean that's okay. But
not that. I'm talking about the shit he's doing now.
That Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. Yeah.
Only thing he did that was valid. My fault, bro.
Yeah, you go.
He bought a crib, across street from Kim. That was solid.
Yeah, for the kids, yeah, that's solid, yeah.
But the whole skeet and all that, corny.
That's wild.
And the music video for Easy, I don't know if y'all saw that shit.
Easy, I see the music video.
That shit was corny.
But it's like Kanye. We don't know you to be like that. You talking about I'm gonna send niggas to first of all,
he did GD down, so like
first of all, when he do shit,
he never. But
and then he made a song with him.
He jumped in the studio with him. But nah, yeah,
you know, y'all good. My thing is like he said something like, "Yo, they overconfident. They make it seem like overconfident is a bad thing." I think he was talking to like kids or something like that. I think it was in the second episode. I saw it this morning again. And I was like, he's right. Like, think about just all aspects of, like, even football, right? Think about Odell Beckham Jr. or Terrell Owens, right? They were, like, extravagant players, but they were known for being cocky or arrogant. Why? Because they believed in themselves. Exactly. Kanye believed in himself so much.
You know
that, yeah, go ahead.
No, finish.
Kanye believed in himself so much. People wanted to, like, say, oh, he's so arrogant, he's so this. They wanted to put a stigma on his confidence. I never saw anything like that.
They put the clip with Oprah. It's just like, why are you so confident? Or
why you so arrogant? Like, tone down your arrogance.
That's another black woman.
Yes, like why you tone? Yeah, like come on, bro. Like I should tone down how much I believe in myself. You know what I'm saying? And this is a tribute to Donda West. Donda West made her son believe in himself that much that he got on stage and said, "I can do this and that and that." And that's something that should be celebrated, not something that should be said, "Oh yeah, like he's an arrogant black dude." Because I'm not gonna lie, for me, like I became a real Kanye fan in college when I listened to College Dropout for the first time. I always say this, like College Dropout helped me graduated, but for me when I was a Kanye fan from afar, I would always say like, damn, he's a really arrogant nigga. He always saying he this and that and that. But I see why he does the shit he does now. Because as black people, they want us to not be as confident as we should be. They always want to put disclaimers on like, yeah, you shouldn't be that confident. You don't have the needs. But
who you think you are? That's one thing we love to say. Like,
who you think you are? This nigga think he Jay-Z. I remember I saw tweets today like, oh, yo, who ya? I saw this tweet and it made me so mad because it was like, oh, this genius documentary.
I see you tweet that.
Yeah, I was like, bro, what? It was. I don't remember it word for word.
It was a girl, but she said this. What she said.
There was like 2 or 3 tweets I said, but go ahead.
Yeah. But she said. All y'all acting like y'all Kanye fans now or some shit like that.
Yeah, something around that realm.
Something like that. He's like, but y'all was just trashing him a few weeks ago and all that. But now y'all want to be his fans and shit like that. Yeah. And I like what you say what you reply. Because I like what you reply.
Yeah, because there's like, oh, the Genius documentary come out. It was something around this realm. The Genius documentary come out. Well, y'all gonna make some trash music now. Let's see what this is gonna inspire y'all to do now. It's like we can't look at it as another black man as inspiration without getting shitted on in our community, and that's what pisses me off. And you know, I do want to give a shout out to Cootie and Chike because for a documentary to come out, you know, about a black man that's still alive and be able to watch his own documentary, that's something that has to be praised. The last documentary I remember of a black man that's still alive and is like a big time celebrity is LeBron James with More Than the Game. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that's a beautiful thing, and the fact we're still here like kind of criticizing like, oh, everybody is inspired by this documentary or like looking down on it, that should be something looked upon. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we have to be a resource of inspiration. Like each and every one of us. Y'all been a resource of inspiration since I met y'all, you know what I'm saying? And y'all, we have to give each other our flowers more often, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make this a whole thing, but this is my point with us. Like we have to look at each other as a source of inspiration Like all of us, man. Like I look in the mirror, man. I see, like let me stop talking about it. Yeah, go ahead.
But look, the reason why we don't look at each other like a source of inspiration because everybody's scared, bro. They just don't want you to be better than them. Like they don't want you to be one up than them. Instead of working together, bro.
We work together, bro.
Like that don't exist though.
It should though. It should. And that should be something new to us. That should be something we establish. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, two things. I just got it. She said, "We are truly lost." This man released a documentary, and suddenly everybody else.
Oh yeah, that's okay. I remember exactly.
Everybody else he said. I don't know what the fuck. Suddenly everything he said and done is forgotten. Y'all so easily impressed.
So what? What's she saying? She's not saying nothing.
Yeah, she's not saying that. First of all,
she's one likes and retweets, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Hey, come on, son.
That's a fact. But in this era, like the whole concept of nuance is just like don't exist no more. Like I could think that all the shit that he's been doing recently and like some of the stuff that he done, I could think that is bozo shit. It's bozo shit. It's loser shit. But I could also be inspired by the way this man his story has come up because that's what is really highlight. Like basically the last 30 minutes was about everything from like after graduation to now. That was the last part. Everything else is from. Or the majority documentaries from before college,
pre-college dropout, late registration,
and everything. So we could be inspired by the doc, because that first episode is like really attention grabber, because you're really like inspired by it. That's one thing, and the second thing you talk about us being a source of inspiration. Kevin Hart,
that's another one.
Kevin Hart, that's another one. But he said he was on the All of Smoke podcast, right? And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you go. He was on All of Smoke podcast, and he said this one thing because they asked him, "Who was your motivation?" And I love this answer so much. He said, "It's easy to think that Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and all those big times, all these legends could be my inspiration, which they are. But at that time when he was coming up, I didn't know him. So the question was like, who's your inspiration coming up? He's like, those people, but at the time I didn't know them, right? He's like, now I know Jay-Z, I know Eddie Murphy, so those are my inspiration now. But he's like, back then my inspiration was all the people that came over. So that means Chris Rock, well not Chris Rock, but like what's the guy who does the Caesar Sports?
Oh, I forgot JB
Smooth, and all these people, Bernie Mac, all the people that he was coming up with that had no name.
Exactly.
Those were his inspiration, right? And then I remember we had this, me and Dashawn had this conversation before, and I was telling him like, it was like, I look at him as an inspiration to have a kid as young as he did, but then still handle his business, to graduate college, community college, to graduate with his bachelor's, and now he's working on his master's.
And achieve your dream of being a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very inspiring.
But it's not even that. It's like he said. He said he's going to do something, and he did it. Right? Yeah. I look at you as an inspiration. Right? You came out of your shadow. Right? Because one thing he said is like. All these different comedians, he liked different parts of like what they did that he couldn't do, right? And it's not like that I can't do, but it's like why I didn't think of like improving that aspect of my life, right? Becoming a better man, or like breaking out of a shell. Because I'm an introvert, right? So it's like I could be shy sometimes, but breaking out of your shell and then going on stage in front of 300 people and killing it, right? Like you look at things like that and wish like those things are basically inspiring. Exactly. And what Kevin Hart was like, he's like, those people inspire me, and as we all grow together, you could be happy for the person next to you that came over. So like, just imagine 10 years from now where we all be at. Because we all each other inspirations.
And look at Kevin Hart, he rock with JB Smooth. JB Smooth on the show with him, like
you feel me? But the thing is, like, they know each other for 20, 30 years because they all came up together. You feel me? And then now this nigga is you see this nigga everywhere on the Caesar Sports Palace.
Yeah, right. Yo, he on every fucking ad. I think he's on the Larry David show, bro.
Yeah, you feel me? He also said Charlie Murphy.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah.
He also said Kevin Hart also mentioned Charlie Murphy, like all those people.
He was funny.
I want to bring up a quote that Issa Rae said. You know, she said when she created Insecure and shit like that, when she created Insecure, she said that she network across instead of networking up. You know, it's always the people that are next to you that you don't know. Like even for this album right now, I'm not trying to like promote it OD, but it's like I'm networking across. I'm not looking for anybody next level type shit. I'm knowing the people that I know now. I'm trying to get them on this album so they can help
relationship will get you farther than any.
Yeah, exactly. So
what you said? Networking across.
Yeah, networking across. That's what Issa Rae said. I saw that.
But that's the same concept with But
that's tough. All right, y'all. So look, listen. Thank you for listening, y'all. We only got like a couple more minutes, but I'm gonna end it with this, right? So again, the 4 agreements. Tune in.
Let them know the page, the chapter.
Page
all
17, top of the page, top of the message. You know what I'm saying? It say to be alive is the biggest fear. Is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear for humans. So I feel like Kanye was so dope because Kanye didn't fear nothing. Like he didn't fear being alive. He wanted to take that step. He wanted to take that risk. Like everybody talking about death is the biggest fear. Like when I die, just go. I'm gonna be scared of something I don't know about. You know what I mean? I'm living life every single day. Why would I not take the next steps to better my life, better these positions I'm in? But yo, again.
Oh, and another thing too, I feel like the book Alchemist, the
Alchemist,
The Alchemist. I feel like that's the whole theme of the whole book, right? Because it's like you have this person who was from another country, went to another country, and then like he has all the money he ever had was stolen, and he was able to reinvent himself in a way to become like this spiritual person.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the main lessons in like the 4 agreements of the Alchemist. Is like don't be afraid to take risks. Like nobody knows. Like we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. We have a schedule, right, of things that's gonna happen tomorrow, the following week, next month. But we don't really know what's gonna happen. So it's like don't worry about it. Just live your life and.
That's it. I just want to. I know we're talking about death and everything like that, but just know, you know, say if you leave a legacy on this earth, you'll never die. Like although your body's not here, your soul, your words, your inspirations, the people you inspired, is always going to be here on this earth. So technically, you would never, you know, die. But yeah.
I remember. Wait, my fault. Yeah. Look, no. Once you said that, it took me back to P, the rapper. He said when the snake dude died, it's just a nigga in the ground. He said when a real one died, your name stays around. So it's like what you said. Just hit me like this. But yo, this is another episode, Strikingemspodcast.
Great episode.
I'm your humble host, Dashawn. Talk Ous.
Yeah, Ous, we back. We're gonna definitely work on getting more episodes to y'all. But if you haven't watched the Kanye documentary, Genius, I think you should. It's a real lesson in it. Like don't even think about like the foolishness that he's doing right now, or like he has done, or whatever you think about him. Just watch the documentary; it'll awaken the inner dreamer in you.
Yeah, the innovator, the creator in you.
Yes, and this is King Kamayera. I appreciate y'all tuning in, for real. Really tune into that documentary. Let go of your biases and stuff like that. Just tune in with a clear head, and you know, just realize this is just another black person in this world. I'm just trying to inspire all of us.
That's a fact.
And shout out to our boy Ant behind the camera.
Yes,
Newest striking member. Striking Gems member.
Newest striking gem member.
We got Spike Lee up in here.
All right, peace.